Wealth will flow when you take full responsibility for your life every day. Discipline in your daily choices is the key that unlocks endless financial success. Wealth will flow like crazy. What does that really mean for you? Are you ready to stop waiting for luck and start creating your own financial success? How far are you willing to go to take control of your money and your future? This isn't about quick fixes or empty promises. It's about real effort and real results. Imagine waking up every day knowing you are responsible for your success and nothing can stop you. Can you handle the truth that no one else will do the hard work for you? In this video, you will discover the one thing that makes all the difference: holding yourself accountable every single day without excuses. This mindset will change how you work, how you think, and how wealth finds you. Stay with me and learn how to build a financial life that grows stronger no matter what happens around you. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Force yourself to work hard even when exhausted. There's a moment in life when you have to decide who you really are. Not when things are smooth, not when you're rested, but when you're worn out, when your body is begging for sleep, when your mind is cloudy, when your feet are dragging. That moment is the real test. That's where most people give in. That's where most people say tomorrow. But if you can stand in that moment and push yourself anyway, you're different. You're rare. You're the kind of person wealth starts chasing. See, anybody can work when they feel good. Anybody can get up and go when the sun is shining and their energy is high, but that doesn't build wealth. That builds comfort. Wealth comes to those who push through discomfort. Wealth comes to the ones who still show up when they feel nothing in the tank. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. That's how you separate yourself. Most people are taught to listen to their feelings, but feelings lie. You feel tired, you feel bored, you feel like quitting. That's fine. Feel it, but don't let it stop you. If your dreams are real to you, then your effort must be real too. Your work ethic must match the size of your vision. If you say you want a life most people never have, then you've got to be willing to do what most people won't. Working hard when you're exhausted is not about pride. It's about commitment. It's about staying loyal to the goal you set when you were full of energy and excitement, because that goal still matters, even when you're worn out. And the truth is, if you always wait to feel ready, you will wait forever. You must train yourself to take action when it's hard. That's when the real growth begins. When your eyes are heavy and your body is slow and your mind keeps saying rest, that's when you talk back. That's when you stand up and get moving. You remind yourself why you started. You remind yourself that no one's coming to do it for you. You remind yourself that success doesn't show up to the lazy. It shows up to the driven. It shows up to the disciplined. And discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Every great success story was built in hard times. Not in comfort, not in rest, but in grind. The long nights, the early mornings, the weekends, that's where it happens. And you've got to stop waiting for someone to push you. You've got to become the one who pushes yourself. Every day you show up tired, you're proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Every time you ignore the voice that says stop, you are building strength. You want wealth to flow like crazy. Then you've got to earn it with action. Every day, especially on the days it feels like too much. Because on those days you're building mental toughness. You're building character. You're building the version of you that doesn't flinch in the face of pressure. That version of you is the one that changes your life. That version of you builds something that lasts. There's something powerful about pushing when you're exhausted. It teaches you that effort is a choice. It shows you that your limits are usually in your head. Your body will go if your mind decides to go. You are capable of pushing past the tired, but only if you stop looking for easy. Only if you stop giving up when it gets hard. Hard work isn't about being busy. It's about being intentional. It's about knowing what you want and going after it even when your whole body says slow down. You've got to work with purpose. You've got to tell yourself, this matters to me. I'm building something here, because you are. Every task you complete while tired is proof that you are committed. Every step you take while your legs want to quit is proof that you are serious. There are no shortcuts. You can't cheat your way to wealth. You can't fake your way to greatness. It's built one effort at a time. It's built when the lights are off, when no one is clapping, when no one is checking in. It's built in silence. It's built in sweat. You don't need to talk about how hard you work. Your results will do the talking. You have to wake up with a decision in your mind. You have to say to yourself, I will do the work. No matter how I feel, no matter how tired I am, I will not stop until it's done. That kind of mindset will change everything. Because now you're no longer a victim of your energy. You are in charge. You are the one deciding how the day goes. That's power. That's freedom. That's how you begin to create a life where wealth flows. When others stop, you go. When others rest, you move. That's what puts you in a category by yourself. Because most people are only consistent when they feel good. But your breakthrough comes from being consistent when you feel nothing. That's when the game changes. That's when the results start multiplying. That's when you start to feel the power of your own discipline. You can't afford to work hard only when you feel great. If you do, your success will be random. It'll be unstable. But if you learn to force yourself to keep going when you're drained, your success will become inevitable. Because you won't be controlled by the weather or your mood or the people around you. You'll be driven by something stronger, by purpose, by hunger, by a vision you refuse to let go of. When you push yourself through exhaustion, you're not just getting work done. You're training your identity. You're saying, this is who I am now. I'm not the person who quits. I'm not the person who makes excuses. I'm the one who keeps going. That identity creates results. And those results build confidence. And that confidence gives you momentum. That's how the flow begins. Wealth doesn't come overnight. But if you show up again and again, especially on the days you don't feel like it, it starts to appear. Slowly at first, then all at once. Because consistency builds trust. The world starts to trust that you're serious. Opportunities begin to find you. Not because you're lucky, but because you've earned it. Push through even when it hurts. Even when your eyes burn. Even when the room is spinning. Even when your eyes burn. Shoulders are tight. Do the work, because every drop of effort is a down payment on your future. And one day you'll look back and realize that the nights you worked through exhaustion were the reason your life changed. Wealth will not chase the tired, but it will flood the doors of the relentless. Keep working, keep moving. Even when exhausted, especially when exhausted. That's when it counts the most. Number 2, wake up early daily to plan your money strategy. Success begins when the day begins. If you want your life to change financially, you must stop sleeping through the hours when the world is quiet and your mind is sharp. Waking up early is not about sacrifice. It is about control. It is about claiming the time others waste and using it to think, prepare, and decide. Those early hours are where clarity lives. They are where noise is gone and intention can rise. Most people wake up late and rush. They rush to dress, rush to eat, rush to get to work, but they never take even 10 minutes to ask themselves where their money is going, what their goals are, or what needs to change. That's why they stay in the same place. Wealth doesn't come to people who live by reaction. Wealth finds people who wake up before the world and take charge of their choices. When you wake up early with purpose, you don't just get time, you get power. You get to sit with a clear mind and ask questions that matter. Where did I waste money yesterday? What can I do today to increase income? Which spending is helping me grow, and which is only for comfort? These questions don't just pass time, they build awareness, and awareness is the foundation of wealth. Planning your money strategy is not just about budgets, it's about thinking long term. It's about saying, what do I want my life to look like in 5 years? And what do I need to do financially today to build that life? That thought process doesn't happen while you're distracted. It happens in stillness. It happens early. It happens when you've chosen to start the day in command, not in chaos. Early mornings give you the edge. While others are still sleeping, you are reviewing your bank accounts, reading about money, writing down your targets. You're not guessing. You're calculating. You're not reacting. You're deciding. That mindset changes everything. It shifts your focus from surviving to growing, from hoping to planning. You don't need to start with big steps. You just need to start. Wake up an hour earlier than you do now. Use that time to look at your expenses. Find out where your money leaks. Write down your priorities. Is your money helping you build assets? Is it paying off debt? Is it being wasted on things you don't need? That simple review done daily creates habits that stay with you for life. The truth is, most people avoid thinking about money. They fear it. They ignore the numbers. But that fear costs them more than they know. When you wake up early and face the truth of your finances, you take away the fear. You take back control. You say no more avoiding. I'm going to understand this. I'm going to work on this every morning until I'm in charge of every dollar I earn. There is something different about a person who starts the day by planning. They walk differently. They talk with purpose because they know where they're going. They know why they're working. They've seen their goals that morning. They've reminded themselves of what matters. That daily planning session becomes a source of strength. It becomes a routine that separates them from those who live on impulse. Discipline starts in the morning. If you can discipline yourself to wake up early every single day for your money, you will find it easier to say no to wasteful spending. You'll feel more in control when it's time to make big decisions. You won't be swayed by pressure. You won't fall for every temptation because you've trained your mind to think before it acts. You've trained yourself to act on a plan, not emotion. Wealth is not only about how much you make, it's about how you manage what you have, and management comes from strategy. Strategy comes from time, and time is won in the early hours. When you start each day with a clear view of your goals, your progress, your habits, you begin to steer your life with direction. You're no longer floating, you're leading. You're building something with thought. Every great builder starts with a blueprint. Your money is no different. Every morning you wake up early to plan, you're adjusting that blueprint. You're saying, this part of my life needs more attention. This area needs less spending. This goal is more important now. That kind of thinking multiplies results. It compounds over time. What seems small today becomes massive over years. People ask, how do I stop living paycheck to paycheck? How do I start saving? How do I invest? The first answer is always the same. Wake up early and start planning. Know your numbers. Face your habits. Track your progress. That time every morning is the difference between drifting and directing, between reacting and choosing, between stress and security. The person who waits until the day is in full swing to think about money is already behind. Their mind is cluttered. Their energy is split. But when you rise early and focus before the world wakes up, you give your mind space to breathe. You allow your thoughts to line up. You begin the day with strength instead of stress. It is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. You don't have to get everything right, but you do need to show up every day with a notebook, with a clear head, with intention. That kind of daily discipline builds wealth from the ground up. It turns vague goals into specific plans. It turns uncertainty into direction. You don't have to be a genius to become wealthy, but you do have to be responsible. You do have to know what's happening with your money. You do have to plan where it's going. That planning time doesn't just make you smarter with money. It makes you feel safer. It removes anxiety. Because now, instead of wondering, you know, instead of hoping, you're acting. You don't need anyone's permission to wake up early. You don't need any special talent. You need a reason. You need a goal worth waking up for. And you need to follow through. Even when it's cold. Even when you're tired. Because every morning you rise with purpose, you're planting seeds. Seeds of awareness, of growth, of discipline. And one day those seeds become results. One day the account balance changes. The stress goes away. The opportunities grow. Start small. Wake up early. Review your finances. Write your plan. Track your habits. Ask better questions. Follow your own path. Do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And again after that. Soon it's not a task. It's who you are. You are the one who wakes up early for your future. You are the one who leads your finances. You are the one wealth begins to notice. Wealth does not run to confusion. It runs to clarity. Build that clarity every morning. Give yourself the gift of focus. The time is there. The choice is yours. Wake up and lead. Wealth follows leaders. Wealth follows planners. Wealth follows the ones who prepare when others sleep. Number 3. Eliminate every distraction that slows your income growth. Every time you lose focus, you lose momentum. Every time you give your attention to something that doesn't build your income, you pay a price. That price is time, energy, and lost opportunity. Distractions are not harmless. They are not just little breaks. They are delays to your future. If you want your income to grow faster, then your attention must be sharper. Your actions must be tighter. You must become a person who removes anything that doesn't lead to progress. People fail not because they don't have the talent. They fail because they waste too much time on things that don't help them move forward. A notification on your phone might steal 5 seconds, but it takes your mind 5 minutes to recover. One conversation that leads nowhere might cost you an hour of potential learning or working. One bad habit repeated daily can set your income back for years. These aren't minor losses. These are the reasons so many stay stuck. Distractions today come disguised as entertainment, connection, and even productivity. But you know the truth when you slow down and look at it. You know when something pulls your energy in the wrong direction. You know when a habit makes you weaker. You know when you're doing something to avoid work instead of building something real. And the longer you pretend it's not hurting you, the more it will cost you. If your income matters to you, you must treat your time like it's valuable. You must guard it. You must remove things that don't pay you back. That means saying no more often. That means turning off what others leave on. That means leaving behind comfort when comfort is costing you your future. You don't need to change your whole life in one day, but you need to start noticing what's keeping you from earning more. You need to name it. You need to remove it. Some distractions come from other people. There are people who waste your time with gossip, negativity, and drama. These people are not evil, but they are a danger to your progress. You can't grow around people who don't care about growth. You can't focus when your environment pulls you into low-value conversations every day. If you're serious about increasing your income, you have to limit time with people who are not serious about their own future. Other distractions come from habits. Maybe you check your phone too often. Maybe you scroll for hours instead of learning or working. Maybe you keep switching from one thing to another without finishing anything. These small habits add up to big losses. If you track how much time they steal, you'd be shocked. That time could be used to build skills, create products, study a trade, connect with better people, or work longer on your goals. The reason most people never reach their financial potential is because they never master their environment. They let noise in. They let people interrupt them. They let entertainment replace growth. They stay busy but never make real progress. You have to rise above that. You have to design your days. You have to decide what gets your attention and what doesn't. That decision alone can separate you from the majority. Start with small changes. Put your phone on silent when working. Choose a quiet space for focused time. Block websites that pull you off track. Set time limits on entertainment. Replace 1 hour of distraction with 1 hour of strategy. Take back your schedule. Create boundaries. Give your attention only to things that give you results. That shift in behavior starts to show in your income faster than you think. Discipline is not just about working harder. It's about protecting your energy. It's about knowing that your attention is your most valuable asset. Where your focus goes, your money flows. If you're focused on goals, you'll build progress. If you're focused on distractions, you'll build regret. It's really that clear. The mind can only hold one main thought at a time. You choose what that thought is. People who grow their income year after year are not just talented, they're intentional. They've trained themselves to avoid time traps. They wake up and go straight to what matters. They don't let themselves drift. They stay aware. They ask, is this action helping me grow? Is this task building my future? If the answer is no, they let it go. They don't argue with distraction. They delete it. They move on. Don't wait until life forces you to get serious. Don't wait until you're broke or in crisis to value your time. Take control now. Eliminate the habits and people and apps and thoughts that slow you down. Every day you delay, this is a day where your income could have grown but didn't. You don't need more luck or more talent. You need less distraction. You need more time invested in the right places. There are people who say they don't have time to grow, to learn, to improve, but they do have time for distractions. That's not a time problem. That's a focus problem. If you want different results, you have to make different decisions. That starts with being honest about where your hours go. If your income has been stuck, there's a reason. You're either not creating enough value, or you're not focused long enough to produce results. Either way, the answer is attention. The more focused your life becomes, the faster your results grow. When you eliminate distraction, you create space for ideas. You open the door to strategy. You notice opportunities others miss, because your mind isn't busy with nonsense. It's calm. It's sharp. It's strong. That kind of mind builds wealth. Not overnight, but surely, consistently, with power. Look at your environment right now. What are the top 5 things stealing your focus? Be honest. Write them down. Now ask yourself, are these helping me earn more or keeping me stuck? If they're not helping you grow, make a plan to remove them. You don't have to fix everything today, but you must start removing what doesn't serve you. Every small win in focus leads to bigger wins in income. It's not about being extreme. It's about being clear. Distraction is the enemy of every dream, and the longer you tolerate it, the further you push your success away. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to care enough to change. You have to want progress more than you want comfort. You have to want results more than you want entertainment. You can't build a powerful life on a weak foundation. That foundation is made of focus, effort, and time. If you give those things to distraction, you'll stay stuck. If you give them to purpose, you'll grow. That's the choice. Every single day, every hour, every moment. Eliminate what slows you. Give everything to what builds you. Income follows that pattern. Life changes in that direction. It's always in your hands. Number 4. Push through pain to build your financial future. There is no way around it. If you want to change your financial situation, you will face pain. Not once, but again and again. The kind of pain I'm talking about isn't physical injury. It's the mental strain, the emotional pressure, the frustration that builds when the results don't come quickly, when the path feels unclear, when the effort seems to outweigh the reward. That's the pain of discipline, of persistence, of pushing forward when quitting feels easier. But that pain is the exact price of a better future. Most people give up too soon. They hit the wall, feel the burn of failure or rejection or stress, and they pull back. They think the pain means stop. It doesn't. It means grow. It means you are reaching the edge of your current self. It means something is being demanded from you that you haven't yet mastered, but can. That is where transformation happens, and that is where financial growth begins. Pain is a part of progress. When your body is tired but you keep moving, you're growing your capacity. When your mind wants to escape the stress but you stay focused, you're building strength. When everything in you says to back off but you decide to lean in, you're becoming someone most people never become. That's what it takes. That's the process. There's no success without pressure, no reward without resistance. Every financially strong person has gone through seasons of discomfort that most are not willing to endure. This is the reason many never break through. They want ease. They want comfort. They want results but not the cost. You cannot have both. You have to choose. If you choose growth, you choose some pain. Not because you want it, but because you accept it. Because the outcome matters more than the struggle. That decision sets you apart. That mindset builds a future most will never see. The pain of waking up earlier than you want, showing up when you feel tired, learning when your brain wants rest, saving when you want to spend, working when others are relaxing. This is the pain that builds wealth. Slowly at first, but surely, you don't feel rich while doing it. You feel stretched. You feel uncomfortable. You question yourself. That's normal. But that's also the test. And if you pass it, if you stay with it, you win. Maybe not today. But in time, look at anyone with a solid financial foundation, and behind their success is a story of sacrifice. A time when they gave up short-term pleasure for long-term gain. A period when they worked harder than they were paid for. A season of discipline that most people around them didn't understand. That's the pattern. That's how it happens. That's what most people miss. Pain doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. The difference is in how you respond. Will you shut down, or will you show up anyway? Will you use the pain as an excuse, or as fuel? You don't have to love it, but you have to learn how to walk through it, because there's something powerful on the other side. Every time you push through, your capacity increases. Your belief grows. Your confidence expands. That inner strength is worth more than any quick win. Don't try to eliminate pain. Instead, redefine it. See it as part of your training. Every long day, every hard lesson, every moment you doubt yourself is a layer being added to your foundation. Most people never build that foundation because they're always running from hard things. But you can do different. You can endure what others escape. That decision is what creates difference in the bank account and in your life. Remember that pain is temporary, but results are lasting. The discomfort of effort fades, but the rewards stay. The pain of skipping pleasure now is far less than the pain of regret later. That's the real cost. Not doing what it takes when you had the chance. Regret is heavier than discipline. If you want to protect your future self, go through what's hard now. That is the investment. That is the shield. And don't fall for the myth that it gets easier. It doesn't. You just get stronger. The pain is still there, but your ability to carry it increases. And once you know that, you stop fearing the pain. You stop running from it. You begin to face it head on because you understand its purpose. It's not there to stop you. It's there to shape you. People who push through pain are people who win in the long term. They are the ones who show up even when nobody claps for them. They keep going when the numbers are low, when the mood is off, when the road looks uncertain. They don't wait to feel good. They do what's needed. They don't chase motivation. They build habits. They work the process. They stay focused on the vision. You can be one of those people. You can decide today that pain will not stop you. That fatigue will not win. That fear will not control your choices. You can set a new standard for how you respond to pressure. That standard becomes your identity. And your identity is what shapes your income over time. Pain also teaches you. It shows you what matters. It reveals where you're weak. It highlights what you need to change. Use that. Don't complain about it. Study it. Let it sharpen you. Let it drive your decisions. The more you respond with growth instead of escape, the more progress you will build. And over time, that progress compounds. That's where real wealth starts to grow. You don't have to be extreme. You just have to be consistent. Pain comes in waves. Keep standing. Keep working. Keep choosing action over avoidance. You won't always feel like it, but your future will thank you. One hard day at a time, you are building strength, discipline, and clarity. Those three things attract money. Those three things protect success. Every time you feel pain, ask yourself, is this the kind of pain that builds me or breaks me? If it's building you, stay with it. Breathe through it. Work through it. Pain isn't your enemy. Weakness is, and weakness leaves. When you show up again and again, even when it hurts, don't wait for it to get easier. Get stronger. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Use this one. Don't listen to the voice that says not today. Push back. Push forward. Push through. Because every ounce of effort now is an investment in the life you've always wanted. Not later, but starting today. Number 5. Take massive action now before fear stops you. There's a moment that comes before every breakthrough. A split second where you either move or you pause. That pause is where fear gets in. It doesn't need a grand entrance. It just needs hesitation. A few seconds of doubt is all it takes to turn a great idea into a forgotten dream. That's why you must act immediately. With force and clarity before your own mind talks you out of it. Delay is fear's greatest weapon. Every time you wait, you give it more room to grow. The only thing separating those who move forward and those who stay stuck is the speed of action, not the resources, not the support, not the timing. It's the willingness to leap while everything inside screams for safety. Action isn't about having everything figured out. It's about refusing to let uncertainty freeze you. Most people wait for permission from others, from circumstance, from emotion, but that wait becomes a trap. The longer you sit, the heavier fear becomes. Fear doesn't hit all at once. It sneaks in quietly, wrapping itself in logic. It tells you to be cautious, to think more, to gather more information. But what it's really doing is stalling you. Because the longer you overthink, the more reasons your brain will invent to do nothing. And the truth is, no amount of thinking ever replaces doing. No amount of planning ever replaces movement. Nothing happens until you act. No change, no growth, no progress. You've got something inside of you right now, an idea, a decision, a goal, and you're waiting for the right time. But there is no right time. There's only now, this moment. And if you don't move now, fear will. Fear will rise. Fear will expand. Fear will win. Not because it's stronger than you, but because it's faster than hesitation. It doesn't need a reason. It feeds off delay. That's why your best weapon is massive, immediate action. Not small steps tomorrow. Not quiet planning next week. But bold, deliberate movement now. Massive action doesn't mean reckless. It means all in. It means refusing to tiptoe. It means showing up at full volume. People spend too much time asking, what if I fail? And not enough time asking, what if I never try? You can't know what's possible until you throw yourself into it. You can't feel your power until you push beyond the boundaries that fear built. That power doesn't come from reading or wishing. It comes from showing up when it's uncomfortable. Most of what you fear won't happen. And even if it does, you'll survive it. You'll learn from it. But you'll never know unless you act. Action forces clarity. It brings feedback. It teaches. It shapes. Waiting does none of that. Waiting only builds illusions. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to move. The heavier the mental weight becomes. That's how fear wins. Not with force, but with delay. Every second you hold back is a second lost. You don't get that time back. The opportunities you didn't act on, the people you didn't call, the risks you didn't take, they don't pause and wait for you to be ready. They move on. They pass by. And the only thing worse than fear is regret. You can recover from failure, but you can't undo lost time. You can't reverse chances you never seized. Start before you're ready. Begin while you're unsure. Jump even if you're afraid. Because confidence is built after the leap, not before. You'll never feel fully prepared. That feeling doesn't exist. The people who achieve what you admire aren't braver than you. They just move quicker. They don't wait for confidence. They build it in motion. That's how you become unshakable. Not by thinking, but by proving to yourself that you can act in the face of fear. Stop letting fear narrate your story. Don't let it decide when you move, how you move, or whether you move at all. Take back control. Stand up to it with your steps. Fear cannot survive in the presence of bold action. It may scream at first, but the more you move, the quieter it becomes, until one day it loses its voice altogether. You don't need all the answers. You don't need approval. You don't need the timing to be perfect. You just need to begin. Because beginning is everything. It breaks the cycle. It snaps the pattern, and once you begin, momentum takes over. You start to feel different. You start to think differently, but none of that happens. If you wait, you weren't built for hesitation. You weren't wired for avoidance. You were made to act, to create, to build, to initiate. And all of that starts with one thing: movement. Not talking about it, not dreaming of it. Moving, right now, before your fears get organized, before doubt starts its speech, before your excuses line up. Move. Massive action means doing more than what feels comfortable. It means pushing past the usual. It means refusing to coast. Every task, every step, every decision, do it with urgency. Don't linger in the middle. Don't live in almost. Go all the way in. That's where the power is. That's where growth starts. You can't half commit and expect full results. Yes, fear will show up, but it only stays if you entertain it. Don't answer the door. Don't give it a seat. Outrun it with your effort. Outwork it with your drive. Drown it out with your volume. Take so much action that there's no room left for doubt to speak. Let your execution be so loud that fear can't be heard. Don't mistake movement for action. Scrolling, analyzing, waiting, they look like effort, but they're not. Real action is direct. It's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. That's how you know it matters. If it's easy, it's probably not changing anything. If it scares you, that's the signal to go. Because fear points to the place where your growth lives. You can't plan your way to courage. You act your way into it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's what you do while fear is in the room. And the only way to find it is by doing the thing you're afraid of. Again and again, until it no longer scares you. Until you become the kind of person who moves no matter what. Your future doesn't care how scared you were. It only responds to what you did. Did you move? Did you push? Did you show up even when you didn't feel ready? That's what will define you. Not how confident you felt, but how committed you were. Not how much you knew, but how quickly you acted. Because time never pauses, and fear never sleeps. Take the step. Make the call. Start the project. Say yes. Say no. Apply. Speak. Show up. Now, not later. Later is the enemy. Later is a trap. Later is where dreams dissolve. Now is all you have. Now is all that matters. And if you take massive action now, everything can change. Even if fear is screaming in the background. Move anyway. Number 6. Demand more from yourself than anyone ever expects. You cannot grow by doing what is easy. You cannot lead your life to greatness by doing what is average. If you want results that stand out, you must live in a way that stands above. The most powerful force in shaping your future is your own expectations. Not your family's, not your friends', not the world's yours. The world will place limits on you based on what it sees. You have to break those limits based on what you believe. When you demand more from yourself than anyone else ever will, you stop waiting to be pushed, and you begin to pull yourself forward. This isn't about trying to impress people. It's about building a life that reflects what's inside of you. Most people settle because they only do what's required. They clock in, they follow the rules, they meet the bare minimum, but you're not most people. You weren't born to do the minimum, you were born to stretch yourself, to chase the highest version of your potential, to wake up and say, I'm not waiting for someone to set the bar, I am the bar. You see, every time you take on more than you need to, you grow. Every time you go the extra mile when no one is watching, you train your character. Every time you exceed your own limits, you build your belief. That's the difference between someone who rises and someone who stays where they are. Success doesn't come from doing what's expected. It comes from doing what's uncommon. It comes from holding yourself to a higher level, even when no one else sees or rewards it. You have to become your own biggest critic and your own strongest support. You have to be the person who says this is not enough, even when others tell you it is. You need to decide that good is not acceptable, that better is just the beginning, and that your standard is personal excellence. The moment you do that, you step into leadership. You take full control of your future. People will often say, you've done enough or don't work too hard. But deep down, you know if you're holding back. You know when you're coasting. That voice inside you, that quiet but steady reminder, that's the part of you that wants to rise. And you must listen to it. You must feed it, because it's the part of you that refuses to settle for average. Most people only do more when someone is watching. The moment the pressure disappears, they slow down. That's the habit you must break. You must perform like someone is always watching. Not because they are, but because you are. Your own standard must become higher than anyone else's requirement. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you create lasting progress. When you demand more from yourself, you don't need to be pushed. You don't need constant reminders. You move because you know where you want to go. You act because your future means something. You raise your standard because your life depends on it. That's where greatness begins, in the quiet decisions no one sees but you feel every day. There's a power in doing more than what is asked. You begin to discover parts of yourself that you never knew were there. Discipline sharpens, focus intensifies, confidence grows. That's the return. Not just money, not just success, but personal strength. And that strength builds the foundation for everything else. You may not see the reward right away, but the reward is not just in the outcome. It's in who you become in the process. You become someone who can be trusted, someone who follows through, someone who doesn't flinch under pressure. These traits become your identity, and identity creates consistency. Consistency creates trust, and trust is what makes people want to follow you, work with you, believe in you. If you ever feel like life is not giving you what you want, ask yourself, are you giving life your best? Are you showing up with everything you have? Are you doing more than what's required? Because life pays those who serve it fully. And when you give everything, you start to receive more than you imagined. People will question why you work so hard. They'll wonder why you push yourself when you could relax. But they don't see the bigger picture you're working toward. They don't feel the responsibility you've chosen to carry. And they don't need to. Because this is between you and your goals, between you and the life you are building. You don't owe anyone an explanation for setting high standards. You owe yourself the commitment to meet them. And when things get hard, remember this: average effort creates average outcomes. If you want more, you must give more. Not once, but every single day. You must walk in the mindset that every action matters. Every hour counts. Every choice builds. You are either moving forward or falling behind. And the only person responsible for that is you. Don't wait for someone to tell you to go the extra step. Don't wait for praise or permission. Lead yourself. Set your standard higher. Decide that you will be the hardest working person in the room. Not for attention, but for the person you are becoming. Not for praise, but for the peace of knowing you gave it your all. Most people settle for less because they think they've done enough. But when you live by that rule, you limit yourself. You cap your growth. You shrink your potential. You need to live with the belief that you can always do better. Not because you're not good enough now, but because you're capable of more than you've shown. And that belief creates a hunger that never dies. You may not be the most talented, the most connected, or the most experienced, but you can be the one who works the longest, who learns the fastest, who grows the most. That decision is entirely yours. It doesn't come from your background or your environment. It comes from inside, from the part of you that refuses to be outworked. And when you start demanding more from yourself, you stop comparing. You stop blaming. You stop waiting. You move from wanting success to owning it. You move from watching others win to creating your own wins. That shift changes your energy. It changes your pace. It changes your direction. You will face days when it's tempting to do the minimum, to settle, to pause. But those are the moments when it matters most. Those are the moments that separate the great from the average. The ones who push forward are the ones who rise. And the ones who rise are the ones who decided that their own standard is the only one that matters. You can live that way. You can choose to demand more starting now. Push your limits. Raise your output. Take on more than you think you can handle. Show up when it's inconvenient. Deliver when it's uncomfortable. Repeat when no one applauds. That is how you become unstoppable. That is how you move from where you are to where you dream to be. That is how you make wealth flow like crazy. Number 7. Break your excuses and dominate your daily grind. You have two options every morning. Get up and push forward, or let your excuses tie you down. That's the silent battle. And it happens before you even step out of bed. The mind whispers all the reasons why today can be pushed, why it's okay to skip the effort, why no one's watching, and it won't matter. But it matters more than anything. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall between you and the life you keep saying you want. That wall doesn't build itself. You build it. One delayed alarm, one skipped task, one surrender at a time. If you're tired, if you're overwhelmed, if life's thrown weight on your shoulders, the answer is not another excuse. It's rising with defiance. It's about fighting through the fog of comfort and convenience. Because comfort is never neutral. It chips away at your potential. It softens your resolve. Excuses don't care about your goals. They don't care about your future. They just give you momentary relief and permanent regret. There's a war going on in your life every single day. And it's not against other people. It's not against the circumstances you were born into. It's not even about the hardships that hit you out of nowhere. It's the war between your present self and your potential self. And every time you choose an excuse over execution, your potential loses another round. You don't get to dominate your day by reacting to it. You take control by deciding deliberately and relentlessly that you won't let weakness lead. That means doing the hard thing when no one else is watching. It means showing up when your emotions beg you not to. It means pushing when your body tells you to rest. Not recklessly, but intentionally. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. That's how domination works. Not in giant bursts, but in repeated effort, especially when it's least convenient. The moment you start looking at excuses for what they really are, disguises for fear, masks for laziness, covers for doubt, you begin to reclaim your power. Because now you know what you're fighting. You can't break what you don't recognize. You can't overcome what you keep accepting. Start calling out your excuses when they show up. Write them down. Speak them aloud. Strip them of their power by exposing them. Because every excuse is a lie you've told yourself enough times that it starts to sound like truth. You weren't meant to live hidden behind reasons. You were meant to move, to grow, to strive. And the grind isn't glamorous. It doesn't reward you right away. It doesn't give you applause or recognition. That's why it matters so much. Because it builds you in silence. And what's built in silence cannot be destroyed by noise. Dominate your grind. That doesn't mean sprinting till you burn out. It means showing up with purpose. Having a list and attacking it. Not browsing, not hesitating, not drifting, but taking the first task and doing it. Then the next and the next, one at a time, fully locked in, fully committed, until what felt overwhelming becomes manageable, then becomes your standard. And when resistance creeps in, and it will, you don't negotiate with it. You don't sit down and try to reason with the voice that wants you to stop. You shut it out by acting. Action is the antidote to hesitation. The moment your feet hit the floor, and your mind says just 5 more minutes, that's when you stand up faster. When the thought tells you you're too tired, that's when you move quicker. Because hesitation compounds. It grows. It spreads. But so does discipline. So does momentum. So does effort. People talk about motivation like it's magic. But the truth is, motivation shows up after discipline begins. You don't wait to feel ready. You do what needs to be done. And then the readiness follows. It's not about feeling inspired. It's about honoring your commitments. Because if you only act when it's easy, you'll never get far. Discipline is forged in the fire of resistance. You become strong by doing what you don't want to do over and over again until it becomes who you are. Break your excuses not just once, but every single time they try to show up. Because they'll never stop coming. But you can get stronger. You can get sharper. You can get so used to doing the hard thing that it stops feeling hard. That's how domination works. It becomes your new normal. Not because life gets easier, but because you get harder to break. And domination doesn't mean noise. It doesn't mean showing off. It doesn't mean proving anything to anyone else. It means proving something to yourself. That your future matters more than your comfort. That your values speak louder than your urges. That you refuse to coast through life on autopilot. You weren't made to drift. You were made to drive. This is your life. Not tomorrow's. Not next month's. Not after the pressure settles or the chaos dies down. It's happening now. And excuses. They're waiting for you to blink. They thrive in your delay. But if you truly commit to eliminating them, they lose their grip. They stop feeling natural. They become foreign to you. That's when you know you've changed. Don't just reject excuses, replace them with action, with intention, with clarity. If you're tempted to skip a task, double your effort on it. If your mind says you can't, respond with "watch me." Build a reputation with yourself that you're not someone to be swayed, that when you decide, you follow through. No debates, no drama, just movement, because what you do daily is what defines you, not what you say you'll do, not what you hope to do, not even what you did last week. The grind is now, and it's daily. That's why you have to dominate it, not survive it, not coast through it, dominate. That's how you earn confidence, not from compliments, but from keeping promises to yourself. So wake up, suit up, and step into the arena. Let the struggle sharpen you. Let the pressure fuel you. Let the repetition mold you. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Every rep, every hour, every task, it's shaping a version of you that doesn't need to be convinced. One that acts without question. One that rises regardless of feeling. One that knows excuses are a choice. And domination is a decision. Keep choosing. Keep pushing. Keep grinding. Number 8. Train your mind daily to think like millionaires. The greatest shift you will ever make on your path to wealth is not in your job or your bank account, but in your mindset. Everything begins in your mind. If you want wealth to flow like crazy, you must take control of your thinking every single day. You must teach your brain how successful people think, not just once in a while, but as a daily practice, like brushing your teeth, like showing up to work, like breathing. Training your mind must become a non-negotiable habit. The truth is, millionaires do not think like the average person. They do not approach their day with randomness. They don't let their emotions steer them. They plan. They prepare. They question everything. They are intentional. If you want to reach that level of financial control, you need to install those ways of thinking in your own life, and that won't happen by accident. It requires effort. It requires discipline. You must reprogram the way you respond to challenges, decisions, and opportunities. Start each day by feeding your mind something strong. Read for purpose. Listen to people who have done what you want to do. Avoid content that wastes your energy. Watch your environment. What you let into your head every morning will shape your focus for the rest of the day. If you fill your thoughts with fear, distraction, and noise, your day will reflect that. But if you begin with clarity, discipline, and vision, you give yourself the advantage most people never take. Millionaires are not controlled by emotion. They use emotion as a signal, not a decision maker. When fear shows up, they don't run from it. They examine it. They look at the facts. They make calculated moves, not emotional ones. You must do the same. If you feel overwhelmed, step back and think through your options. If something frustrates you, don't react. Pause. Analyze. Ask yourself, what would someone who has already succeeded do in this situation? Begin to guide your life with thought, not reaction. Thinking like a millionaire also means removing excuses. Millionaires take full ownership of their results. They do not blame others. They do not wait for someone to save them. They own their choices. If they fall, they learn. If they fail, they adjust. If they lose, they try again with better thinking. That is how they rise. That is how they build momentum. Every time you take responsibility for your results, you become mentally stronger. And the stronger your mind becomes, the more consistent your outcomes. Your mindset must be focused on long-term rewards. Millionaires delay comfort for greater gains. They don't waste time chasing instant pleasure. They are patient but not passive. They move every day toward a clear vision. You must condition your mind to love the process. Train it to enjoy the discipline. Fall in love with effort, because effort pays you back long after it feels hard. That's what separates high achievers. They are willing to go through what others avoid. You must also watch how you speak to yourself. The words you use in your mind shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good with money," or "I'll never make it," your brain begins to believe that. Millionaires speak differently to themselves. They say, "I will figure it out." They say, "This is temporary." They say, "I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm getting closer." You must start using words that build you, not break you. Replace self-doubt with certainty, even if it feels unfamiliar. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Visualization is another key part of training your mind. Take time every day to see the life you are building, not in fantasy but in detail. Picture your future with clarity. What kind of house are you in? What kind of work are you doing? How are you managing your money? See it clearly. The brain responds powerfully to mental pictures. When you visualize success, your mind begins to look for ways to make it real. And the more specific you are, the stronger the effect. Millionaire thinking is also about curiosity. People who grow wealth consistently ask better questions. They ask how, not if. They ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why is this happening to me? They challenge their habits. They seek knowledge. They don't assume they know everything. You must be the same. Never stop learning. Never stop asking. Never stop thinking. Growth starts with curiosity. And curiosity begins when you decide that your current level of thinking isn't enough for where you want to go. Surrounding yourself with strong thinkers also matters. The people around you will either raise or lower your mental standard. Choose your circle wisely. If they think small, you will eventually shrink to fit in. If they think big, you will stretch to grow. You need people who challenge your comfort, who ask you tough questions, who live with purpose. Spend less time with those who complain, and more time with those who plan. Mindsets are contagious. Choose ones worth catching. Your daily habits must align with this new thinking. Discipline is the bridge between mindset and action. Wake up early to review your goals. Track your progress. Cut out wasteful activities. Prioritize your time like it matters, because it does. Millionaires don't wing their day. They design it. They don't spend hours reacting to everyone else's problems. They guard their focus. Train your brain to do the same. Focused thinking is rare, and rare thinking produces rare results. You must also build mental resilience. The path to wealth will not be smooth. You will face doubt, confusion, and frustration. Your job is to stay calm, to adapt, to persist. Mental toughness is not about never feeling down. It's about choosing not to stay down. Train your mind to bounce back faster. When things go wrong, think, what now? Not, why me? That single shift can change your future. Resilient thinkers win in the long run because they keep moving even when others quit. Track your thoughts. Journal them. Study them. Become a student of your own patterns. What triggers doubt? What feeds motivation? The more you know about your own mind, the easier it becomes to guide it. Don't live on autopilot. Live with mental awareness, with clarity, with intention. Train your mind to see opportunity in problems. Teach it to look for lessons in setbacks. Condition it to keep pushing even when results are slow. Millionaires do not think like the crowd. They build their minds like athletes build their bodies, daily, with focus and with purpose. You can do the same. And when you do, your life will start to reflect your new way of thinking. Number 9. Refuse comfort and chase your wealth with urgency. Comfort is the enemy of progress when it comes to building wealth. If you want money to flow like crazy, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. This isn't about living a miserable life, but about refusing to settle for what feels easy or safe. Wealth does not come to those who choose rest over effort or delay over action. It comes to people who understand that every minute counts, and that time wasted chasing comfort is time lost forever. You have to push yourself hard. You have to move fast. You have to demand more from yourself every day. There is a natural tendency in all of us to avoid pain and difficulty. That's human. But when you want real wealth, you have to fight that impulse every single day. People who settle for comfort often end up stuck in the same place, watching others rise around them. You will never see big results if you put comfort first. Wealth requires urgency. You need to act now, not later. You need to prioritize your goals above short-term pleasure. When you chase money with urgency, you develop a hunger that drives you past exhaustion and doubt. That hunger keeps you awake at night thinking about your next move. It makes you relentless. Urgency means treating your dreams as if they depend on your actions today. It means giving your absolute best, even when you feel tired or unsure. The clock is ticking whether you work on your wealth or not. Every day you choose comfort, you lose valuable ground. That loss builds up. The people who win financially understand this. They don't wait for the perfect moment or for things to be easier. They act despite fear and uncertainty. They know hesitation costs more than failure. Refusing comfort also means rethinking your environment and habits. Are you surrounded by distractions that ease your discomfort but steal your time? Are you spending energy on things that make you feel good now but hold you back later? You have to create an environment where it's easier to work hard than to slack off. Remove anything that tempts you to rest too long. Build routines that push you forward even when motivation fades. Urgency is a habit, and habits are what shape your future. You might feel pressure when you refuse comfort, but that pressure is where growth lives. Your mind and body adapt to new demands. What once felt impossible starts to feel normal. Your limits expand. The pain of pushing yourself becomes a signal that you're moving closer to your goals. Urgency is not about rushing recklessly, but about focusing intensely. It's about knowing exactly what matters and giving those things your energy first. You learn to say no to distractions, excuses, and anything that doesn't serve your vision. Many people fail to chase wealth because they are waiting for external conditions to improve. They wait for more time, more money, or more luck. The truth is, you must create urgency inside yourself regardless of circumstances. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will wait forever. Wealth flows to those who take responsibility for their future now. That means acting with purpose and speed no matter what obstacles appear. You can't control everything, but you can control how quickly you respond. Urgency sharpens your focus. When you refuse comfort, you become more aware of how precious your time is. You start to guard it fiercely. You don't waste hours scrolling on your phone or watching meaningless shows. You stop saying yes to things that do not move you forward. Instead, you prioritize learning, planning, and executing. The urgency creates momentum. Momentum creates results, and results build confidence that pushes you even harder. You also build discipline when you refuse comfort. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early to work on your money goals. It's sitting down to make tough financial decisions instead of avoiding them. Discipline is the engine behind urgency. Without discipline, urgency fades as soon as emotions drop. But with discipline, you keep moving forward every day, regardless of how you feel. That consistent action is the true source of lasting wealth. Urgency also helps you recognize and seize opportunities. People who act fast often win deals, partnerships, or investments others miss. Wealth is not just about working hard, but also about moving smartly. When you refuse comfort, you develop an alertness to possibilities. You become ready to act quickly. That readiness can multiply your income in ways slow movers never experience. The ability to move fast is a competitive advantage that can change everything. It's important to understand that refusing comfort doesn't mean you ignore your health or well-being. It means you are conscious of trade-offs. You might sacrifice some leisure time to build a stronger financial future. You might give up a few nights of easy rest to learn new skills or start a side hustle. You make choices with intention, knowing these sacrifices are temporary. The discomfort you endure today lays the foundation for the freedom you desire tomorrow. The pain is real, but so is the reward. Sometimes people resist urgency because they fear failure. They worry rushing means making mistakes. But inaction is a greater risk. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to catch up. Refusing comfort is about balancing speed with careful planning. It means doing your best to prepare but not getting stuck in endless waiting. Wealth comes to those willing to take smart risks and act boldly. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be ready to move. To build urgency, start by setting clear deadlines for your financial goals. When you have a date to hit a milestone, you push yourself harder. Without deadlines, it's easy to procrastinate. Break your big goals into smaller steps and give each a deadline. Track your progress daily. Reward yourself only when you hit targets. This approach keeps your motivation alive and your focus sharp. The urgency becomes part of your daily life instead of a one-time burst. Finally, refusing comfort means changing how you talk about your goals. Replace statements like, "I'll get to it eventually," with "I must do this now." Make your language reflect the urgency inside you. Speak to yourself as if your dreams depend on immediate action, because they do. When you change your inner dialogue, your actions follow. Your mindset becomes stronger. You build unstoppable momentum that no setback can slow. Wealth will flow like crazy when you refuse to settle for comfort and chase your dreams with urgency every day. The effort you put in now will create a powerful force that pushes you toward financial freedom. Keep your focus sharp. Keep your pace steady. Stay determined and move quickly. The world rewards those who refuse to wait and act with urgency. Number 10. Hold yourself accountable every day without excuses. Accountability is the cornerstone of building real wealth. Without it, progress stalls and dreams fade away. When you hold yourself accountable every day, you take full control of your actions and results. No one else is responsible for your financial success except you. It requires brutal honesty about where you are, what you have done, and what needs to happen next. This kind of daily responsibility creates a powerful force that drives you forward, even when motivation runs low. Every day is a new chance to check in with yourself and ask the hard questions. Did you follow through on your plans? Did you work on your goals like you promised yourself? If the answer is no, then don't look for excuses or blame. Instead, accept it as a reality and decide what you will do differently tomorrow. Accountability means facing your own behavior without sugarcoating. It's about taking ownership of your choices, whether good or bad. This honesty builds character, and character builds wealth. Excuses are easy to make and comfortable to fall back on. They feel like a shield protecting you from failure, but they do nothing to change your situation. If you want wealth to flow like crazy, excuses must disappear from your vocabulary. When challenges come, and they always do, accountability pushes you to find solutions instead of reasons why you can't succeed. It turns obstacles into opportunities because you refuse to let anything stop your progress. Being accountable every day also means setting clear, measurable goals and tracking your progress honestly. Without numbers and facts, it's easy to fool yourself. You might think you are moving forward, but the truth could be very different. Keep records of your financial activities, review them regularly, and adjust your actions based on real data. This habit creates clarity and keeps you grounded in what really matters. It also gives you a sense of accomplishment when you see your efforts adding up. Accountability sharpens your focus and eliminates distractions. When you know you must answer to yourself, distractions lose their appeal. You don't waste time scrolling social media or watching TV when you know you have goals to hit. Instead, you channel your energy into productive activities. This kind of discipline becomes easier with practice. As days turn into weeks and weeks into months, the habit of accountability becomes part of your identity. You become a person who does what is necessary without delay. It's important to build a system that supports your accountability. Writing down your goals, creating daily to-do lists, and reviewing your achievements each night help keep you on track. Share your plans with a trusted friend or mentor who can check in on your progress. When you know someone else is watching, it motivates you to keep your promises. This external accountability combined with your internal commitment forms a powerful combo that fuels consistent action. Sometimes accountability feels uncomfortable because it exposes your weaknesses and mistakes. This discomfort is necessary for growth. Facing your errors head-on allows you to learn and improve. It prevents you from repeating the same failures over and over. When you embrace accountability, you become proactive rather than reactive. You stop blaming others or circumstances and start making conscious decisions that move you closer to wealth. Embracing accountability also strengthens your confidence. Each time you follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that you can succeed. These small wins build momentum and boost your belief in your abilities. Confidence grows naturally when it's based on real results and honest effort. This inner strength helps you push through setbacks and stay motivated, even when progress slows down. Accountability means refusing to make excuses about your past. Your history does not define your future unless you let it. Many people carry guilt or regret over missed opportunities and use that as a reason not to try again. Holding yourself accountable means recognizing past mistakes but not using them as a crutch. It means focusing on what you can do right now to improve your financial situation. Every day is a new chance to make better choices and move forward. It's also essential to hold yourself accountable for the quality of your work and decisions. Wealth is not just about how hard you work, but how well you work. Taking responsibility for the results of your actions pushes you to improve your skills, knowledge, and strategies constantly. It prevents complacency and keeps you striving for excellence. When you demand your best every day, you create opportunities for bigger income and greater success. Accountability helps you build stronger habits. When you commit to daily action without excuses, you develop routines that support your goals. You don't wait for motivation to show up. You act because you made a promise to yourself. This consistency compounds over time. Small actions done repeatedly create massive change. The power of accountability lies in its ability to make success inevitable through daily commitment. Another benefit of accountability is that it forces clarity. When you are responsible for your results, you become more aware of your priorities. You learn to say no to anything that does not align with your financial goals. This clarity prevents wasted effort and keeps your energy focused on what truly matters. Over time, your choices become sharper, and your path to wealth more direct. Accountability is also about learning to celebrate progress without waiting for perfection. Every step forward counts and deserves recognition. When you acknowledge your efforts, you build positive reinforcement that fuels motivation. At the same time, you remain honest about areas where you can improve. This balance keeps you grounded and energized for the long journey of building wealth. You cannot underestimate the role of mindset in accountability. It requires a mindset that values growth, responsibility, and self-respect. When you view accountability as an opportunity rather than a burden, it changes how you approach your goals. Instead of fearing failure, you welcome feedback and use it to adjust your course. This mindset is a major factor separating those who achieve lasting wealth from those who give up too soon. Accountability means refusing to let circumstances or other people control your destiny. It means taking full ownership of your financial life regardless of external factors. No matter what happens around you, your daily choices determine your outcomes. You build a habit of taking action first and adapting later. This approach turns challenges into fuel for success instead of reasons to quit. This daily commitment to accountability transforms your relationship with wealth. It makes money less about luck and more about predictable results from your effort. You stop hoping for a break and start creating your own opportunities. This shift is powerful because it places you in the driver's seat of your financial future. Every morning you wake up is a new chance to hold yourself accountable. Take a moment to review your goals and remind yourself why they matter. Write down what you will do today to move closer to wealth. At night, review your actions honestly and decide how you can improve tomorrow. This rhythm builds a strong foundation for your financial journey. You will find that holding yourself accountable without excuses gradually reshapes your character. It builds resilience, patience, and self-control. It teaches you to be honest with yourself and others. These traits create a strong platform for attracting opportunities and building wealth. They make you someone people trust and respect. Remember that accountability is not a one-time effort but a lifelong habit. It requires daily attention and commitment. Each day you practice it, you grow stronger and closer to your financial goals. The difference between those who struggle with money and those who succeed often comes down to this one factor: who shows up every day and holds themselves accountable no matter what. This journey demands courage and honesty, but also offers incredible rewards. When you stop making excuses and start owning your results, you unlock your true potential. Wealth will flow like crazy because you will be the kind of person who takes charge, follows through, and never quits. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary in their financial lives. This is how dreams become reality.